This is 8th standard history, lesson number 3, effects of British rule. Now we are going to see here how the East India Company got established. Okay, here. According to our research and findings, that is geographical discoveries, we have so many discoveries. And according to the studies, European powers reached the Indian coast. Now who all were there in European powers? Portuguese, Dutch, French and British. Now this all of them, they entered the race for capturing the Indian market. They were knowing that Indian market is a big market for them to have a trade. And after that, what happened? British, to establish the domination of India, that is, they wanted to have their position in India, had to face opposition from French, Dutch and local rulers. So they had to face the opposition because these all were also in the competition, that is Dutch, French and Portuguese. From 1774 to 1818, there were 3 wars fought between Marathas and the British. How many wars? 3 wars. In 1782, with Treaty of Salbai, first war came to end. And Mumbai was the main center of British in Western India. And British tried to acquire nearby territories. They were knowing that it's a big center, and to establish their power, they tried to acquire nearby territories. Nearby territories means nearby kingdoms or the regions. Marathas were having holding powers there in these all territories. That is, they were having a strong hold. They were ruling that regions or their territories, that nearby territories. After the death of Peshwa Madhav Rao, his uncle Raghunath Rao approached British for help, and he approached British for what reason? He was having this thing in his mind that I will be having the Peshwaship. So to have that, so he was very greedy for that position, and that's why he approached British, that in that greed to get the Peshwaship. Now this led to entrance of British in Maratha politics. So that was the first entrance for the British to enter the Maratha politics in this system. In 1798, Lord Wellesley arrived in India as Governor General, and his objective was to have British dominion all over India, not in one place or one territory, but all over India. He wanted British rule, that India will be under British rule. He signed a subsidiary alliance with many Indian rulers. That is a kind of agreement with Indian rulers, and what was mentioned there, they were assured of British military help whenever there will be any need or any war or any warlike situation. British will be helping them in their fight. And at that time, who were the opposition to them? Mughal rulers were there. Okay, so Marathas, they were assured, some of the rulers were assured with this after signing this agreements, they were assured the British help, and that help was having something hidden. And what was there? Some terms were there. They assured the help. The British told that, okay, we are ready to help you, but in return of that, what you will do for us? So what you have to do? So there were some terms and conditions, that is to maintain British army in their court, that is to have them there in their presence in their court, that is all the matters will be there discussed in front of them. Then have to pay cash or part of their territory to company for its maintenance. So this some amount they have to pay to the East India Company. Now this was the term, this was the condition, and in compared to it, or in return of it, they were ready to help those rulers. In 1802, that is 1802, Bajirao II signed Treaty of Versailles. This treaty is very well known treaty. Then, but was not acceptable to Maratha Sardars, and this led to Second War. Now Maratha Sardars were not ready to accept that you don't sign that treaty. They were against it, and so Second War was there. After that, British won the war in this, and their interference increased into Maratha state, and British won the war. So after that, and there whose interference? British interference. They started to interfere in every matter of Maratha state. This became intolerable. So it was not tolerated by anybody, and so what happened? Bajirao II waged a war against the British. So again the war, that is the third war, again the war was there, and in 1818 he surrendered to the British. So there was no hope for their victory, and so he surrendered to the British. On other side, capital of Mughals was under the control of Daulat Rao Shinde. Now during that period, General Lake, he came there and defeated the troop and captured the Mughal emperor and gained the victory over Hindustan. So this how they maintained their supremacy, by winning the war against the Maratha power also and Mughal power also. In year 1765, Robert Clive introduced, now these are the effects of the British rule. Now when they came, how one by one they started to implement. Robert Clive introduced the dual government system in Bengal, and this dual government system was what the company, that is in East India Company, undertake the revenue collection, and the Nawab of Bengal will maintain the law and order. This was the dual government system. And after that, this there was lot of things happening in India. The British, they came, they started this thing, but they slowly they try to enter our market, they try to capture our positions. All the important things were there in their hands, and slowly whatever the things were in our hand, it went to their hand, and they started ruling our country. The power was in their hand, and they started implementing the laws, that what should be done, what not should be done. Taxes were implemented. Then on the other side, the social welfare program also they undertook. That is how they try to educate the people in other manner, that don't discriminate among yourself. They sati system, which was there in our social system, they try to prohibit that with law, that whoever will have that sati system, they will be punished. So certain things they were implementing, and that but on the other side they were having the dominance. And there was a when more than this round about 100 years they ruled India. But after that it was very unbearable for the Indians to bear their harassment or the missed kind of treatment. And so there was a Quit India movement launched, and many political leaders they took part in it. And people they supported, the local people, our citizens, they understood that in this was there because of British implemented the divide and rule policy. And they were knowing that these are the people, but so many people staying in India, but everybody is different. They belong there is casteism practice, there is classism practice, and it became very easy for them to rule. They took this thing for their advantage, and it was plus point for them to rule India for many years. And after that, when social reformers they understood this, they studied the scenario, they studied the situation, and they came forward. And after coming on a certain decision with them, social reformers, the political leaders at that, or the freedom fighters, they took initiative, and they were without any kind of hesitation, or without any kind of their selfish motive. They understood that now it's the time to raise voice and make the people understand that we are Indians and we want our country back. We will not any longer be again under the dominance of this British rule. We want our India to be freed. And that's why the Quit India movement was started, and it got successful, and in 1947 we got our independence. That is because of the efforts of the freedom fighters, the social reformers, people, those who participated in this movement, and the British rule came to end. They realized that now it is difficult for us to rule Indians. So we when the thinking was changed, when the mindset of people was changed, and people began to be rational in thinking, and they tried to, in their behavior also, they were very practical. So the things were, and they were very prompt to react to the statements and the decisions taken by the political leaders and the freedom fighters at that time. And today, that's why we are very much fortunate that we are independent country, and we are leading in every sector of development. So we have to as we are staying in present time, we have to when we are reading history, we have connection with the past. So it helps us to understand that what things and what situations were there, what were the experience of the people at that particular time and of that era. So that's why this is the thing that we have to understand and we have to remember. For you is that read the lesson and go through it, whatever portions we have completed till now of SS history and geography. Read it, try to get the objectives done very well, and read the lessons thoroughly of all the subjects